So, you know that girl at school, the one who's always put together, the one who has a lot of friends, the one who's super popular, the one who has all the guys literally pining after her and has a 4.0? Well, today I'm gonna be telling you guys how to become that girl at school. Hi my best friends, and welcome back to my sleep bar. Today's video I'm super excited about because this video is going to be literally your holy grail. We're gonna cover everything from psychology hacks to be popular, psychology hacks and study hacks to get a 4.0, and everyone's favorite on this channel, psychology hacks to get your crush to like you. Well, in this case, kind of like get every guy at school to like you, but you know, you're welcome in advance. And as usual, I'll be giving the shout out of the week at the end of this video. And without further ado, let's get into our first section, psychology hacks to be more social, popular, and make more friends. Just like magic. So for this first section, I'm gonna start with some of the things that we love on this freaking channel, which is basically subconscious hacks to get someone to like you without even saying anything to that person. And the first thing that I can tell you guys with this is, you know, that tendency that we always have to either like pull our sleeves down or put our hands in our pockets when we're talking to someone, or if you guys are like sitting at the desk, your tendency is usually to like put your hands in your lap or like under the desk somehow instead of having them on the desk. Well, let me tell you something. That is making the other person not trust you on the subconscious level. If you want someone to feel like they trust you more and feel more positively inclined towards you, make sure your wrists are visible while you're with that person. Now, you don't have to literally talk to them like this or something like that, like that's just silly, but put your hands on your desk instead of just keeping them under the table, or don't have your hands in the pockets while talking to them, and don't try to like cover your hands too much with your sleeves. Just like magic. The second freaking body language hack that you guys can use to get someone to like you without even saying anything is to tilt your head a bit when talking to them from time to time. You don't always have to literally like be like talking to them like this. That's just weird.
I'm a weirdo.
But this is another evolutionary sign that like when you're talking to someone and sometimes you do this like just for a second and then go back or something like that, since again coming from evolution, tilting your head to the side is perceived as an act of trust towards the person that you're talking to, because actually when tilting our head we're exposing an artery that is right here, which back in the day would not be a good thing to do. I know like there's a lot of like this evolutionary basis stuff and like body language and psychology. I don't know if you guys like me explaining actually like the basis behind the tips that I give you, or just giving you the tips like I do in the other videos. So let me know about that in the comments if this is boring or if this actually makes sense. Just like magic. The next thing that I can tell you guys is to use the mere exposure effect to your advantage. So what is the mere exposure effect? The mere exposure effect is a thing in psychology, which is our tendency to like the things that are familiar to us or the things that are around us more often. So we tend to develop preference to things just because we're merely familiar to them. So first of all, if you want to use this in general and having like a lot of people know you around school and a lot of people like you around school, join a lot of school activities, be in all the school clubs, be on all the school events, and usually try to be outgoing so other people get that exposure to you and they kind of start to favor you just because of the mere exposure effect. Like I've seen this happen so many times, because I remember even when I was at school, the kids who were like popular and who had the most friends and who were liked by most people were the ones who were at all of the school gatherings, the ones who were at all of the football games, and the ones who literally just like you would see them everywhere. Like the popular kids, they were just everywhere. Just like magic. And if there is a specific person that you want to use this with, for example, it's a friend group that you want to be a part of, it's a person that you want to be friends with, or maybe it's your crush that you want to like you a little more, you can go ahead and maybe sign up for the same extracurricular activities with them, only if you guys like those activities though. Or if you can choose your seats in class, seat somewhere in their eyesight level. Volunteer a little more when a teacher needs a volunteer, because again, that draws attention to you. Just like magic. Join a team sport at your school. Not joining a team sport is actually one of my biggest regrets from high school, because when you're doing a team sport, it really builds the bond between the team, and those people usually become really, really close friends because they're literally on the same team and they know that they have each other's backs. Don't be like me, just doing individual sports because you're like, I'm way better when I'm the only one to blame for my failures. If your school has a cheer team, I think that can also be a really good thing to do as well. And at the same time, if you're doing a team sport, again, you're having a lot of plays that the rest of the school is going to, so that again works with the mere exposure effect. Just like magic. So we are usually pretty afraid of rejection. Even the most confident person in the room is afraid of rejection, because rejection is painful no matter how many times you've had it, no matter how much of a thick skin you've built up. So usually we tend to like people more that we know like us. The way you can use this is by engaging with people's social media. Don't be afraid to do it. Follow the person, and also if you want to know a little trick on how to make it more likely that that person follows you back, you should definitely check out my How to Be Popular at School video, where I give you more popularity and more psychology hacks that I don't mention in this video, as well as a hack on how to get someone to follow you back on Instagram. But when you guys are following each other, comment on their posts, like give them compliments. Obviously don't overdo it, like do it in moderation. That will make the person like you more, and that will make the person want to reciprocate a little more. And it also shows that you're friendly, you like them, which will make them like you more in turn. The 7th popularity tip that I really want to stress for you guys is to be calm and collected. If someone is trying to make fun of you, if someone is trying to be mean to you, if someone is trying to push your buttons and try to belittle you, know your worth, because you're a freaking queen, and act like one. Have you ever seen a queen lose her composure? No, they're always cool and collected, and when those people are doing that, they're trying to get a reaction out of you. Freaking peasants might be screaming at the queen as much as they want, throwing their torches. She's still standing tall up in her castle and giving them a poker face. You have to do the same thing. The people who are mean to you, the people who are bullies, they're insecure in themselves, they see you as a threat, and they want to bring you down by getting a reaction out of you, but we're not gonna do that. Yes, maybe it hurts when someone says something like that to you, but you still have to not give them any reaction, because that's exactly what they want out of you. And the second you start giving people reactions, you're gonna become that person who is getting made fun of even more, instead of that person who is that girl, that person who has a lot of friends, and that person who has everyone like her. So hold your crown, take a deep breath, and give them a calm comeback to shut them up for eternity. And the 8th tip on how to be popular and how to be that girl at school is kind of in the same spirit, which is to invest in yourself. Now, I don't mean go out and buy like Gucci, Prada, Chanel. That's literally not what I'm talking about. I'm saying invest in yourself. Learn about something that you really like doing. Develop a skill that you've always dreamt of. Self-development, journaling, working out, taking baths, doing face masks, anything that you can afford to do and anything that you want to do out of those things, but basically something that makes you feel like a baddie. And you might be like, what does that exactly have to do with like being popular? But first of all, this builds your confidence. You're literally going to become so freaking unbothered because you have so much going for yourself, and when you know your worth, you're not gonna let anyone walk all over you, and at the same time, it's gonna help help you always be put together at school, which brings me into our next section. Okay guys, so I kind of decided to make it a series because the video was going to be like way too long. It was coming out to be like 40 minutes long. So instead of that, I'm just going to be putting them as parts, and this was part 1. If you guys want to see part 2, part 3, and part 4, psychology hacks to get the best grades, psychology hacks to get someone to like you, and life hacks to always be put together at school, then definitely subscribe to the channel. And the shout out of the week was honestly like so hard to choose this week. This week's shout out goes to Molly on Instagram, who commented on a lot of my pictures and she liked a lot of my pictures, so I'm gonna pop it up right here, and thank you so much. I'm just picking people that are the most active either on my Instagram, my TikTok, or my YouTube. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I love you guys, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!